321 No Kiddin. Bobby the Awesome here. It's a happy March 11th. And I have to tell you, the inspirational calendar, I have mixed feelings about, honestly. I have two schools of thought. So I have the recovery school of thought, and then I have the business school of thought. So I will share both, and yeah, we'll go with that. So here's what it says. Don't tell people your plans, show them your results. So from a business perspective, and from my belief in the universe and law of attraction and all those things, I feel like I have to talk about things in business to make them come to fruition. So that's where I struggle with that. But once I paused and thought about it from the addiction perspective, I realized I preach this all the time. Actions basically speak louder than words. So don't tell people, I'm going to change, or I'm changing, or I've had the epiphany, or I've done the thing, that revelation period. Instead, act it out. Do the things that you're talking about. Walk the walk instead of just talking the talk. I have to say, this is a pain point for me. I think that people who do say, well, I got my act together and I'm not going to gamble, I'm not going to use, I'm not going to whatever. That's all well and good. And I appreciate the accountability piece of it. It's just really important that you do the work instead of just talking about the work. So from the recovery perspective, I really love the reading. From the business one and my law of attraction universe kind of crazy mentality, I'm not sure how I feel about it. So, all right, let's see what the daily reading inspires me to feel today. I never know what's going to happen, Okay, March 11th, Terrence, wow, I can't read this morning, says moderation in all things. During active addiction, our lives went from one extreme to the other. Depending on our level of intoxication, we believed we were all bad or all good, angels or devils. We abused ourselves terribly, then went on frantic health kicks to make up for it. We made friends and enemies in an instant. We quit jobs, left spouses, alienated our loved ones, all on the whim of a moment. But life doesn't have to be that way. In recovery, we have a chance to learn a moderate, balanced approach to living. With our new healthy mind and body, we can think things through and make decisions based on our long-term good instead of reacting to the feelings of the moment. If we stay up too late one night, we can choose to have an early evening the next. If we're stressed out, we can choose a few days of quiet and exercise, which help us recuperate. When we've taken on a heavy load at work, we can find rational ways to rearrange our schedules. Now we can look at the future and assess our needs based on what we know is good for us. No longer motivated by distorted thinking and impulsive reactions, we can think and plan ahead. Once we took pride in our hell-bent lifestyle, now we can relax and enjoy the serenity of moderation. Today, help me avoid impulsive decisions and appreciate balance. This is really a good concept to talk about. And it's true, right? There's the highs and the lows. We might be winning, and then losing, and then having our attitude show up instead of our gratitude. Definitely all or nothing attitude comes with addiction, I believe, in a lot of cases. And it can be very extreme from one way to another. And I think that one of the foundations of recovery is finding balance. Balance in life, balance in relationships, balance in action. And this makes a good point. And I think that this was part of why my rehab relationship didn't work, right? We went from gambling to rehab to a relationship. Like it was highs and lows. It wasn't like I got out and took the time and like, okay, what does my new routine look like? Where will I go to meetings? How am I going to stay healthy? Instead, it was just another extreme. And it could be the same way. The reason I mentioned that is because it could be the same way with like exercise. Okay, I quit drinking, I quit gambling, I quit whatever. Now I'm going to go to the gym 100 hours a week, or now I'm going to work at my desk 1,000,000 hours a week. So it can happen if we're not controlling it to balance our recovery. So sometimes it's not the obvious. And I think that moderation applies to so many things. A lot of the exposure and things that we talk about in my online business world is balancing time and time management. And I think any successful business owner would tell you self-care is important. You know, Grant talks about being up before the sun and working out 30 minutes a day. And I think just about any entrepreneur is going to tell you that, whether it's self-care in the form of meditation, exercise, whatever. They're not saying go exercise 8 hours a day. They're saying just make sure you get some movement in. And it is the balance of physical, spiritual, and mental. We have to take care of all those things. Otherwise, our recovery can be impacted. Maybe we're not able to move the needle along because we're too entrenched in one extreme or another. So be mindful of that. It's really hard. It's really hard to be on the outside looking in and even taking notice unless we're aware that we have to take notice. If we stay up too late one night, we can choose to have an early evening the next. If we're stressed out, we can choose a few days of quiet and exercise. When we've taken on too heavy a load at work, we can rearrange our schedule. So those are just a couple examples, and they touch on a few of the aspects of recovery. I know for me, if I get too much in the work mode and I don't go to meetings, I think my perception on life and my attitude definitely shift closer to attitude because I'm immersing in work and I'm not providing that balance. I can definitely see the peaks and valleys in my own recovery when my balance is out of sort. So just by quitting gambling doesn't make us recovered, right? We have to work on this. And this balance piece is a really, really big piece of it. It does call out though. Now we can relax and enjoy the serenity of moderation. And that's why we work towards it. That's why we have to be aware of it. And that's why we have to do the things to create that balance, is so that we can have the serenity. And if we have the serenity and we have the balance, it takes away a lot of the triggers or the thinking that would get us back out gambling. And it's another reason why it's important that we look at this and think about this every single day. So that way we don't go to those extremes, or we're not sucked into those extremes before we realize it. And we're not in front of a slot machine or in a poker room or, you know, whatever your thing is. When we get offset, it's very easy to react the other way. Oh, I'm stressed at work. Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to run away. I deserve to gamble because I'm stressed out. I deserve to relax. I deserve this. It's me time. Well, don't get to that point. That's what I'm suggesting. And that's why we have to be together every day, or you have to do your things every day. For me, this is part of it, is hanging out with you. It's part of me trying to keep my balance. And you see, I still don't stay on kilter all the time, every day. So food for thought, everything in moderation. Love that. Even recovery, because you can get burnout from that too, by the way. And what I mean is, and this was my experience, there was a point where I was going to too many meetings with the same people at one stage in my recovery, and maybe not mixing it up. So I didn't have balance with that meeting. I should have done something a little different maybe to complement it. And then I was like, I got burned out and ended up, going the other extreme. I'm not saying that's the reason I relapsed, but I think that was a factor for sure. I didn't have a balance in my recovery style. And that's part of why I explore so many different things now. whether it's the balance of the spirituality and believing in the universe and those kinds of things and focusing on that a little, to having the balance of physical, which I told you not too long ago that when I wasn't paying attention to the physical, I definitely noticed my mood changing, and I definitely had my attitude on more than my gratitude. And I don't like that. And mental, just being dialed in. Are we avoiding drama? Are we focused on having a little bit of fun? Or are we always doing? Are we doing for others instead of ourselves? So there's a lot to balance. And I just encourage you, like with everything, be mindful. And only you can, take your own inventory or analyze that for yourself. You can bounce things off of other people because sometimes they can see things differently than we can, but only you could be the true judge and in control of your own balance. So be sure you're doing it, whether it's in wellness and recovery, regular life, whatever the things are. It will set you up for success, and it's actually another barrier to going back out. Hope that was helpful, beautiful people. I love you. Have a great day.